Today we're driving the all-new 2024 Toyota Tacoma, and we are in the perfect work truck spec here. This is an SR XtraCab with the 6-foot bed, and it's painted in white. Awesome. About $35,000 starting price without options for this truck. Let's walk you around it. We'll talk about it. We'll take it for a drive and give you guys some driving impressions. We are out here just off of Mulholland Drive in California at the launch event of the new Tacoma. We have steel wheels, a 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with an 8-speed automatic transmission. It says 4-wheel drive. You gotta love a new truck in 2024 with steel wheels. A lot of room in the back of the 6-foot bed. This passenger seat folds flat, so you can put more stuff in here or use it as a workbench. And you've got a lockable place back here where you can put tools, etc. More storage back here, underfloor storage, jack, toolkit, all that good stuff. Really neat packaging here with this SR XtraCab. Bare bones, basic, functional interior. Doesn't even have a temperature display. It just has a meter that goes from cool to warm. How cool is that? Lots of blank switches, CarPlay. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Makes 228 horsepower, 243 pound-feet of torque. We have leaf springs in the rear and double wishbone front suspension. Even the tailgate isn't damped. Little plastic bed liner in the back of this Tacoma. This is rated for about 23 miles to the gallon combined, 26 on the highway, 20 in the city. Let's hop in. I'll show you around the front seat a little bit and take it for a drive. These are pre-production trucks. Sorry, we're on a bit of a grade here. So some things won't quite be final production with fit and finish. Nice cloth seats. Comfy, lots of adjustment. We get power lumbar and manual adjustment for everything else. Sliding height. Here's your 4-wheel drive selector. 2 high, 4 low. We'll probably just leave it in 2 high all day today. We get a reverse camera. Nice chunky shifter. You can also get this with a manual, which is fun. Little place to put your phone. CarPlay, Android Auto, basic climate controls, digital center gauge cluster here. All right, let's go see what it's like on the road. Pretty lightweight truck, about 4,300 pounds in this form. This 2.4 turbo feels great. A little bit of subtle turbo whistle at light throttle. And if you need power out of it, it's right there. Much better drivability than the previous gen Tacoma. Brakes feel good, responsive, nice bite. Pedal feel is surprisingly untruck-like. A little bit of steering feel too. I can kind of feel textures from the road surfaces. Ride is on the stiffer side with these leaf springs, but you need that for payload and towing. I've always joked that there is nothing faster on a twisty back road than a work truck. And we're going to be hitting some pretty twisty sections of Mulholland today. All said though, it's a pretty comfortable place to be. Not a ton of wind noise, other than a little bit of suspension stiffness in this SR trim. I've only driven the TRD off-road Tacomas, and those are pretty softly sprung. You get a lot more ride comfort out of those higher trim trucks, but again, the purpose here is to keep it functional, simple, and not so expensive. All right, let's attack this back road here. No paddle shifters or anything like that. We do have a sport mode for the transmission. And in other trims, we have drive modes, but not in the SR. We can manually shift gears. But you don't really need to. It has the torque to pull you out of corners. Some things rattling around in the center console there. It's active, it feels light. I mean, it drives about how you would expect it to with a 2.4 liter turbo 4-cylinder. Brakes feel great. Of course, there's no getting around the fact that this is still a truck. But when you need to hustle your work truck back home on some twisty back roads, I think you can handle it pretty well. Chances are this is probably the only time we'll get a chance to drive one of these base SR models. They usually put higher trim, more expensive specifications in the press fleets. Pretty close gear ratios too with this 8-speed. That helps. And really good low-speed drivability here. The throttle tuning, the calibration with everything, it's an easy car to drive smoothly, or an easy truck to drive smoothly. It feels light and nimble, it handles relatively well too, for what it is. Good amount of off-road capability too in standard form. And if you go for the TRD off-road or the TRD Pro, almost feel unstoppable on a trail. Very maneuverable. And it gets out of its own way. Put these keys in my pocket at this point. Some of you may remember we came out here this winter in around January, and the last time I drove this road was in a Lamborghini Huracan Technica, and before that a GT4 RS. So speeds are a little bit different today, but it's kind of surprising that Toyota took us out here for the Tacoma launch. Rear end definitely feels leaf sprung. And I've got to say, this is actually the first Tacoma that I've driven on the street. I've only driven TRD off-roads on a trail below about 15 miles per hour. So I don't really have much to compare this to. I assume the coil sprung rear suspension trucks will handle and feel a little bit softer, a little bit more refined. But I think that's part of the charm of this SR 6-foot bed truck, is that it is just simple and straight to the point. Just rattling off shifts there. It's actually decently quick and fun to drive for a truck of this type. Getting up into some higher speed sections of canyon. Wind noise, not terrible. Suspension is still on kind of the busier side of things, but that's to be expected in a vehicle like this. All right, cool. Well, this drives about how I expected it to, but there's a quick POV review of the new 2024 Tacoma SR XtraCab 6-foot bed. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. We're gonna turn off here, do one more quick walk around of this truck. This has been nicely graded since we were last out here. And I think we'll wrap this video up with a quick sound system test here, too. Parking brake located very conveniently right next to the shifter. We'll just leave everything running. Bit of a throaty exhaust, too. It really does look good on Steelies. I love this line too on the new Tacoma. Great looking truck, nice proportions. All these mid-sized trucks are kind of starting to look about the same, but this is a good design from Toyota. All right, well, if you want to continue watching and listen to the sound system test, feel free, but if not, I understand. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Do get a volume knob here. standard sound system is actually pretty decent. If you guys were listening with headphones, you'd be able to hear that there's a good amount of bass, pretty clear in the upper registers. Not bad, Toyota. For 35 grand, this is a pretty solid truck. There's a lot you get done with this, and it's pretty good to drive too. I love the simplicity, I love the steel wheels, I love the white. It's everything you need, nothing you don't, and all for a reasonable price too. I think this starts at just a little over 30 grand for just the rear-wheel drive vehicle, and the four-wheel drive spec on this truck adds a little bit. So you could even get into a Tacoma SR rear-wheel drive for less money. There's a couple previous gen trucks for reference. There's Joe Rady on throttle on his way to lunch. It is Taco Tuesday here at the Calamingos Ranch. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.
How was that?
It was great fun.
Excellent.
Love a base model. Cool.
Race car, race car.
Yeah. I rode with you at
Porsche.
Pekla, yeah.
I thought the same thing. I saw you over here. I was like, I recognize it. I recognize
What's
it.
up, man?
Honestly, and I recognize just like the whole like camera gear.
Camera face, yeah.
Not often I work with people over there.
Yeah.
Honestly, that like and I remember we talked about whatever your sound thing is. It's
Yeah.
like a super high quality
That's
sound.
right, yeah, the binaural audio.
Yep.
It's good to
Yep.
see you, man.
Good to see you too,
yeah.
man.
Yes, you were an awesome instructor. We did lots of sliding that day.
Love it.
Minimal sliding in this today. So a little bit different speed, but cool nonetheless. I like this base model with the steel wheels.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yep. All right, we'll see you around.
See you around, man. Great seeing you.
Yeah.
Do you have the key by any chance?
I do, because it kept rattling around. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.